This is the instructional video for assignment 3.1, the 3x3 table, where we will be constructing a table with 3 rows and 3 columns, placing some text in each of the cells, and then we're going to set the alignments on each of the cells so that the alignment of the text actually matches the position of the cell within the table. We're also going to add some borders so that the center cell has a double border around it. So let's start by minimizing this. We'll move that off to the left side of the screen so we can still see it as a guide. And here in some workspace we'll create the table. We'll start with the insert menu where we insert table. And we click on table, and we have this array, and we can choose something that matches what we're after. 3 by 3, 3 rows, 3 columns. The default setting here are rows the height of which match the size of the characters. So in this case our characters are 11 point calibri, and so each of these rows is set at 11 in height, and it's also divided up the width of the page into 3 equal spaces. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to change the row heights and set them even. So this is how we'll do it. We will hover right here on the bottom border, and we will click and drag and pull that down until we get to about 6 inches on the vertical ruler. The vertical ruler is over here. Then we will click in the top left cell and drag down and off the edge of the table slightly. And when I've done that, my selection will include these little overhangs here, which will show us that we've selected the entire row. There's actually a difference between selecting the cells of a row, that's only the 3 cells, or the entire row, and that's the entire row because it goes right off the edge. So I'm going to select from this top left cell all the way down and out a little bit, so I know I have all the rows highlighted. I will right click, get a menu, and on that menu shows us distribute rows evenly. Clicking that gives us a redistribution of the rows where each of the cells is now approximately a square. We'll now type in some words here. This is the top left. Actually, I'll hit enter and put left on the second line. Top center. Center left. Center center. And we'll fill all these in. I'm typing in the dark, and that's why I'm making so many errors. Bottom center and bottom right. Okay, having entered all the data, now it's just a matter of setting the formatting of each of the cells. One thing we will never, ever, 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 ever do is use a space bar to start pushing things around. If I hit the space bar like this, it works for a minute, but guaranteed it will cause you nothing but grief. The other thing we will not do is we will not hit enter. We'll not hit enter, for instance, here to try and move things down. And we won't do that because if we were to change the height, now it's not centered anymore. So we will instead make sure that we use the proper alignment techniques simply by right-clicking in the cell, going to cell alignment, and choosing the appropriate alignment. In this case, top left stays the same. In this one, cell alignment is top center. In this one, the cell alignment is top right. In this one, it's center left, which means it will be center. In vertical terms, it's centered, and it's on the left side horizontally. Center center, center right, bottom left, bottom center, and bottom right. Oops, wrong one. Bottom right, there it is. So now we've got all the text in the right location. It's just a matter of changing the border on the center cell. To do that, we have to select the cell. So I'm going to click right here. You notice if I hover here on the left side of the cell, my pointer changes into the solid black arrow. If I click there, it will select the entire cell for me. Once that is selected, I can right click and I can look here for a way of changing the borders. And there it is, borders and shading. Click on that. And now I've got a representation of my cell here. It's got a solid single line border around it. I can simply move down on my list, check the double border. It changes to a double border. I say OK, and my work is done. Good luck with yours.